Hey folks, so it's Lars again. I managed to summon all of the courage that I could possibly find inside of me to open up the rooftop and shoot this next video for you. I don't know why it's so scary for me to actually record this while people might be watching and listening in on it. It's really weird, but it is. Anyway, I'm doing it. I wanted to talk about something that might happen when you start comparing yourself to others. We talked about ranking and linking the other day. One of my favorite stories is a story about a Chinese man who one day he receives a horse, and all his neighbors are like, "Oh, you are so fortunate! You've received a horse. You've gotten a horse." And then the old Chinese man is like, "Maybe." And the next day, his son goes riding. His only son goes riding on this horse, and he falls off the horse and breaks his legs. And everybody's like, "Oh, such a shame. How sad this is for you." And the guy's like, "Maybe." And then whatever. The next day, whatever. Then there's a war in China, and all the sons of all the families need to go to war to fight this war, but this man's son doesn't have to because he broke his leg. And then everybody's like, "Oh, you're so lucky, how fortunate you are." And the old man goes, "Well, maybe." And I'm sure the story goes on, but the point is obviously that you can never know whether something turns out to be good or bad in the long run. And really, I think that's a really valuable way to look at things. When I look back at my life, there's definitely a lot of things that I was really hoping would work out at the time. They didn't, and this day I'm glad they didn't. I would not have met my current wife had I succeeded in coming over to the U.S. Before I did, for example. So was it was it good that I spent 9 years in Denmark? Well, maybe. It's really impossible to tell, right? That's the way it played out, and I think the best that we can do is just trust that was the way it was supposed to happen, or maybe not supposed to happen, but trust that is. I mean, really, it is the way it is. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do to change it, and you might as well find peace with that and just trust that it's perfectly all right. Everything is exactly as it should be right now, and operate from that place. The opposite, namely, is to start criticizing yourself for what you've done, criticizing yourself for the choices that you've made, wishing you'd done differently, worrying about whether the choices that you're making now are the right choices, and maybe, oh, should I do this or should I do that? And you enter this kind of worrying state and self-criticizing state. And that's not a good place to be. It's not helpful. It's not going to help you make better decisions. It's not going to make you happier. It's not going to make you more powerful. It's not helpful in any way to engage in that kind of debate over. I mean, the only place where it makes sense is if you go and you carefully analyze the choices you made, why you made them, and maybe whether you should reevaluate the ways that you make choices, like the values that you bring to the choices you make. For example, well, I made this choice because I was really afraid of this, and that wasn't so scary, but then if I hadn't been so afraid, then I could have done something differently. So what can I learn from that? Well, I can learn to not listen to my fears much. So that's valuable. But criticizing yourself for choices that you've made in the past that you cannot change anymore is not valuable. So it's much better to take the stance of the old Chinese man and just say, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, who knows. I just trust that I am exactly where I need to be right now, and that I continue to do my best and to work with everything I have, and be really honest with myself about the choices that I make and how I make them, and love myself and be trusting. Then everything's eventually going to work out for the best. And you can't really know what that is. You just can't. So don't speculate, don't criticize yourself, don't engage in that whole game. It's a game that your ego very much wants you to engage in, because then it feels like it's in control and is actually preventing you from going out and doing what you need to do. And that might be really scary, because then you might get what you actually want, and that seems to be really, really, really scary. So, yeah, just be like a Chinese guy. Yeah? Alright, take care, bye-bye.